What's up, guys? I'm Chris. I run the product teams here at Facebook, and we're live from the Facebook page. Today we just announced a complete overhaul of Live on Facebook. So I'm here to give you guys a little bit of an overview on what we announced, and then take any questions you guys have on how it works. So for a while now, we've offered the ability for you to open the Facebook app and hit live, and live stream video to your friends and family to bring them along with you. I have an 18-month-old son, and he's often doing things for the first time that are super interesting to see and that you often want to share with people as it's happening. So Live gives you the chance to take experiences like that and share them with people as it's happening. Since we began to roll out Live, we started to see people like Hillary Clinton or Kevin Hart or astronauts or athletes taking you behind the scenes into parts of their life that you don't normally get to see. And we were really excited about how exciting this was, both for the people creating the content and also for the people showing up to watch it with them. So we took a bunch of our teams at Facebook and built a lot of new features that we announced today. One of them is going to be a tab right next to your newsfeed, where you'll be able to go and tap a video button and see lives happening all around the world. This is super exciting because you'll see what people are doing in places like Bangkok or Cote d'Ivoire. Last night I went to watch Manchester City, a football team in the UK, doing goalie practice, which was amazing. I didn't know I'd ever want to watch goalie practice, but there I was. Steven Spielberg was live last night, giving highlights from the BFG, a movie that he's been working on based on the Roald Dahl book. So I got to watch Steven Spielberg answering questions from his audience. And also just we're starting to see a lot of our friends starting to go live. My friend Brian has a goldfish named Sherbert, and he likes to take you behind the scenes with his goldfish when he's feeding him in the morning. It may not seem like the most interesting thing, but usually a few people show up to feed the fish with Brian. So part of what's so cool here is just the range of experiences, from friends feeding their fish, all the way up to like presidential candidates taking you with them after they're done giving their speeches, newscasters. There's this storm chaser named Val Castor, who is a Texan weatherman. And after he finishes doing his weather show, he takes you in his car and he drives with you going live to point out to you like thunderstorms and tornadoes and like explains what a cumulus cloud is. And it's fun because it's so raw and authentic. It's not a finished product. It's super unproduced. And it's also fun for him because he gets to bring his audience with him. So we're really excited about today starting to roll that offering out to a lot more people. And we're kind of excited to see what happens next. So I wanted to invite you guys to ask any questions you have about this big product announcement we have today. You can see I'm in our New York office. We have a lot of our posters here, which we use to celebrate our culture internally. So you get hopefully a taste of what it's like to be inside of one of our offices here in New York. All right, so it looks like you guys have some questions. The first is, how do I go live? So if you're on an iPhone, you just tap on the box that says what's on your mind. It's on top of your newsfeed. And you just tap it, and then there'll be a button there that says go live. And then it'll basically ask you what you want your title to be, and then it'll start to count down, and you'll immediately be streaming the video from your phone live. Your close friends will get a notification that you've gone live, and if you keep going, people will start to see it in their newsfeed so that they can join. Today we've added the ability for you to go live to a group. So if you have a family group and you want to share something with them, like you're having a birthday party for your kids and you want to show it with the rest of your family who aren't there, you'll be able to go live and then send it just to that group. So it's pretty easy. We've tried to make it really simple, and we've also tried to make it really fun. Ravi asked, what's your favorite live? I think my favorite so far has been DJ Jazzy Jeff, one of the early hip-hop DJs from Philadelphia. He started using Live a lot. If you remember the show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. They made the recording Summertime, which was really big in the 90s. And DJ Jazzy Jeff is still like touring around. He's somebody that I hadn't really been like following, but he started using Live a lot, and he's awesome. So I like him because he's really unpretentious. He's really, a lot of times he's playing music or playing his shows, which is fun to watch. He plays great music. So he's been one of my favorites so far. Another one of my favorites is this astronaut named Scott Parazynski, who I just thought was a good example of like niche science. He was a doctor and an astronaut who's done a lot of spacewalks. So he was uniquely qualified to comment on the return of Scott Kelly, the astronaut who'd been in space for like a year. And so he did a live where he was just like answering all these questions about the way the human body responds physically to being in space for a long time and then returning to Earth. So he was really excited to have a rapt audience there, and the audience was excited to have an expert on space health, which is cool. All right, Benjamin. How can you imagine Live being used for breaking news? So some of what we're starting to see already is people taking Live with them, newscasters. We saw a lot of newscasters in Brussels after the recent tragedy there, taking you to memorial services. We've seen Live being used with guys like hanging around in the evening in Baghdad to take you to see a famous cleric being celebrated there. And one of the things is we launched this feature called Live Map. You can go there right now. It's called facebook.com/livemap. And you'll see all these little dots all over the world. And the dot's size of the dot will correspond to how many people are watching that live cast. And it'll let you go just click and see what's going on in all kinds of different parts of the world. So I imagine that when an event happens, like let's say there's a major sporting event in San Francisco, you could imagine that you'd start to see a lot of bubbles there, and then you could go and see which people were getting a big audience, and then you could discover that maybe like one of the athletes had gone live from the locker room or something like that. And so what we hope to see is that when an event's happening, you're going to be able to go look at it and then choose which people are broadcasting there, and then see the event from different points of view and different perspectives, which will hopefully be a new way of experiencing breaking news. Cool. So I just wanted to remind everybody, I'm Chris. I run the product teams at Facebook. I'm here answering questions about Live today from Facebook New York. Ronak asked, can I limit Live to a select group of friends? Yes. You can use the audience controls on Facebook that you normally use to choose who sees a post, where it says friends or public, to decide who you want to see your live cast. You can also use that to limit the audience. We're also announcing today Live for groups and Live for events. So if you're a member of an event or a group that is private, you're going to be able to go live. So if you have, like I said, a family group, or you have a work group and you want to do like a quick conference with a bunch of colleagues in that group, you're going to be able to go to that group and hit live and then immediately do it with them. One of the things we're pretty excited about is how interesting the scenarios are for super small groups. The live casting, like I said, my kid and my dog like play together a lot, and I'm planning on using Live to share that with my family, but not necessarily everybody I know. Josephine asked, how can I find more cool live videos? So right away you can go to this map. It's facebook.com/livemap. And right now it will allow you to go see what's immediately streaming everywhere in the world. And one of the things I like to do is just see which are the big bubbles, and then I can go and click on them and then see what's there. It'll also let you see where people are viewing that video from, which is interesting just to remind yourself of how many people are using the feature right away. And then today we're beginning to roll out a tab, which will be a part of the Facebook app. That's going to roll out slowly, so you won't have that right away. But eventually you'll have a tab where you can tap a video button next to Newsfeed, and you'll be able to go see live videos all around the world right from the Facebook app. Augustine asked, can you watch live videos later? So right now there's an option to keep the video up or take it down. So the publisher or creator of the video gets to decide if they just want to have it up for that moment or if they want to leave it up forever. And we're seeing people use both options. Sometimes it's nice to just only have it there for that moment, but if you had a really awesome live video, you may want to keep it up. So you have that option as the creator. It's up to you. Alex asked, how many people does it take to build something like Live? It takes hundreds of people, especially for Facebook, where we're trying to build a product that works for 1 billion people who use the Facebook app. A lot of what we're dealing with is synchronous streaming of a single video to up to hundreds of thousands of people who are watching it. It turns out that's a really hard infrastructure problem, and it's especially hard when you're trying to build something that works for every kind of phone in every kind of network in every language, which is what we're doing at the scale of Facebook. If Facebook were much smaller than it is right now, it would probably not take so many people, but given our size, we want to make sure that it's ready to go on day one to support somebody like Kevin Hart or somebody like Steven Spielberg. If they want to go live, they're probably going to attract a huge audience, and we want to make sure that the product works really well for them. Chloe, do you have any advice for what to go live about if I'm not a celebrity? I think what we're seeing right now is like people just being themselves is what's very interesting, and what a lot of people do. The vast majority of us using it are not celebrities, and people just want an opportunity to see what their friends are up to. So I would either find yourself in a situation that's really cool. So the next time you're about to take a video or a photo of something, like maybe you're in a new city for the first time, or maybe you're reuniting with an old friend, or maybe you're having an amazing meal, or like maybe your dog is like, you know, running into the ocean and like you're inspired by it, or maybe you see a beautiful sunset. Whenever these things are happening, you can think about going live right then. And then you'll start to see a few of your friends show up, and then you can share that moment with them. The other thing that people do that's been really good is answer questions like I'm doing right now. The most important is that you start with something and don't just hit the button and say, so what's up? Do you guys have any questions? So those are my 2 pieces of advice for you, Chloe. Another person asked, is Live on Android? Yes, it's not rolled out to everybody yet on Android, but it's beginning to launch to everybody on Android, and we hope to have it rolled out soon. It's available in over 60 countries right now, but it's not available to every country in the world yet. We're getting it rolled out as soon as we can. Like I said, it's mostly the challenge of the infrastructure is difficult, and we want to make sure that the first day everybody gets it, it works really, really well. Gaida asked, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, is Live going to have filters? Yes, we announced live filters today. So you'll be able to go when you go live, and you'll be able to select really basic photo filters so that if the lighting looks weird, or if you want to go live in black and white, you'll be able to swipe and get something that makes you feel good about the quality of the image that you're putting out there. The other cool thing we announced today is live reactions. That will let people who are watching you start to leave little reactions, like or love or yay or wow. There with you, and you'll see it like pop, and it'll float across the screen. It's a really, really nice effect, and it will give people who are creating live videos a nice sense of connection with their audience. So just a quick reminder, I'm Chris. I run our product teams at Facebook, and we're answering questions today about our big announcement today on Facebook Live. Jeremy, how are you using Live personally? Well, today I'm using it to announce Facebook Live. Today I'm basically just going around New York and talking to a bunch of folks in media. I'm going to be talking to Jorge Ramos later today, who's a journalist in Miami who works for Univision. And I'm going to be interviewing him about his vision for how he sees Live playing a role in how people report on news. And also his own personal experience using Live to reach audiences outside of his normal audiences on Univision. And then with the new features today, I'm planning on using Live a lot more with smaller audiences and to go live to my friends, which is something I'm really excited about. Vivian, can you adjust your privacy settings? Yes. So Live uses all the same privacy features that normal Facebook posts have. So you can choose who you want to see your live post before you go live or after you go live. And then you can always choose to remove live posts after they happen. So you have both the option to decide up front who sees it, and you have the option to take things down afterwards. So you're in complete control of who can see your stuff on live. Jerby asked, is there a time limit on live video? I believe there is, but it's pretty long. Does anyone know who's here with me?
I think it's an hour.
I think it's an hour, yeah. So, what's that? 90 minutes. It keeps going up. So if you want to go live for more than 90 minutes, you'll have to stop and just start a new one right away. And we're working on extending that limit as soon as we can. Kaushik asked, what's something you'd like to see live but haven't yet? That's a really good question. To me, that's funny, the first thing that popped in my head is Cirque du Soleil, which is, like, you guys probably know what Cirque du Soleil is. It's just this amazing performance of, like, dance and music that's really big in the US. But one of the things that I've been seeing recently is people, like major athletes, taking you backstage or behind the scenes so you can see what they're really like. And like I was just watching the NCAA women's basketball champions going live from their locker room, and watching, who else is going live recently? The Texas Rangers doing batting practice. And for some reason, the thing that popped into my head is meeting the like amazing dancers and acrobats on Cirque du Soleil and seeing what they're like behind the mask. So I think those kinds of things are going to be really, really cool. Do you have tips for people who want to go live themselves? Yeah, I mean, the first thing is just to try it out. You're not going live to thousands of people. You're usually just going live to a few of your friends. And so it's pretty easy to have an intimate and comfortable place to try things out and see if you like it. And what we've seen is that people really they have like a wow moment the first time they're seeing one of their friends live or they're trying it themselves. And so that's part of the reason we're so excited about it, is people like it. So just try it out. It's simple. And if you have feedback, let us know. And we're doing everything we can to make it easy for everyone to use. Cool. That's about all the time I have for today. I want to thank everybody who showed up today for our very first live Q&A on the Facebook page. Now I'm going to go enjoy a little bit of time talking to some of our new live casters in New York. Thanks, guys.